What's going on, guys? This is your motivation guy, Keith Allen, and welcome back to another ProGuides Rocket League video. Today, we're gonna be covering some of the best tips and tricks we all wish we knew when we first started playing. In our last video, we went over some of the best mechanics in Rocket League, but how and when should we use them around the field? You guys ready for this? Let's get this going. All right, guys, so our first tip is to practice your basic movements to warm up. Far too many players spend hours of their time, in free play, practicing air dribbles and flip resets, all while neglecting the game's most fundamental mechanics. It's never a bad time to really start learning something new, but brushing up on the basics will help you be more consistent in the long run. When you first open up Rocket League, jump into free play and work on your car controls separate from the ball. Drive around the little boost pads and take note of how responsive your car is with different inputs. Drive up and down the various walls and get comfortable with how your controls are affected on each surface. How quickly can you turn with and without boost? What if you held down power slide? What happens if you tap power slide instead of just holding it? Can you wave dash from one side of the field to the other without tripping up? What about your control in the air upside down? If we want to progress as a player mechanically, we must focus on becoming consistent before all else. Hold yourself to a short warm-up routine before each session, and your future self will thank you. The second tip for you guys is to start flipping less when moving into plays. Flipping gives you instant momentum and is undoubtedly valuable. However, it has the downside of just locking you into an animation you can't get out of. This means it's a convenient tool for shot taking and repositioning, but not if we need to cover something close to us soon. Enemies that see you flip will know they have time to really get the ball around you for free. Instead of flipping in these kinds of situations, try wave dashing through a straight line of boost pads. This will give you the speed of a flip without opening yourself up to being outplayed. The more time you put into practicing your wave dashes, the more ways you're going to see they can be used. Another thing we should try to minimize is our boost usage. Boost gives us free momentum and is without a doubt our most valuable resource. How good we are with the boost will always come down to how many pads we pick up and how many of them we waste. Aim to pick up as many small pads as possible without wasting them off of plays. Our third bit of advice, guys, is closely related to the last ones. So preemptively point your car in the direction you think the play is headed next. For example, if someone is to the left of the ball and hitting it right, pre-turn to the right so you can get it to it faster. This one is crucial at higher ranks because opportunities appear and disappear in just fractions of a second. Forcing plays to come in front of you instead of having to chase them down will mean you're always quick to spring into action. Practice this by going into a game and take note of where everyone is on the field. Then, based on what you can see, make a prediction of which zone the ball is headed to next. If you are wrong about where the play went, save the replay and just rewatch it until you can understand what happened and really why. Some of the more challenging things to predict as a beginner are curve bounces, corner bounces, high-speed challenges, and aerial plays. As you're watching and rewatching, take notes of what you learned or found interesting, all right? You can also watch professionals play, focusing on how they are posturing in different situations. And so doing this every day will help you to rank up faster than almost anything else. Okay, guys, so our fourth tip for beginners is to start bumping and demoing your opponents more. This honestly is like one of the best ways to get in their head. Not only are demos basically broken, but if done correctly, are super efficient to get as well. So here are a couple examples of when to go for a bump or demo. So let's just say you're pushing into the enemy half and you're trying to center the ball. If the play ends up behind you, you're gonna need to start rotating to get back into position. Since you're in enemy territory, there are likely opponents all around you. And so if you maintain your momentum, you can force a reaction or even take out a defender completely. If you don't get a demo, it's totally fine because you were just rotating out anyways. So another perfect time to go for demos is when you're on the wrong side of the play. So let's just say that you just lost a 50-50 in the midfield. The ball flies behind you into your corner and one of your teammates is getting control of it. Instead of just immediately flipping to get it to the far post, take a quick second to look for a bump that could relieve some pressure on your side. Bumps in your own territory and demolitions in the opponent's territory will almost always lead to a scoring opportunity if capitalized on immediately. Players sometimes regard these mechanics as toxic, but you're gonna be making a huge mistake if you just ignore them outright. So when the enemy gets tilted by your bumps and demos, they will sometimes chase for revenge. The more the enemy sees red, the worse their decision making is gonna become. Learn to predict this behavior and just use it to your advantage in your upcoming matches. All right, guys, so the fifth one is huge. Dream big, but start small. Write down some goals that will be difficult but attainable in the next few weeks. These goals should be centered around improvement, not just ranking up. When you put too much value in your rank, man, you're gonna lose focus on what's really important. Okay, so what we're talking about here is our intrinsic versus extrinsic motivation. So intrinsic motivation comes from within, right? Like you put time into training without needing to discipline yourself because you genuinely enjoy the process. So when you're intrinsically motivated, losing won't bother us because it shows us that we still have room for improvement. But on the other hand, guys, extrinsic motivation comes from some kind of, incentive or just light at the end of the tunnel. And so when we're extrinsically motivated, losing progress toward our end goal can be very demoralizing. So this will quickly lead to burnout and is one of the reasons people quit playing competitively. And so if you ever find yourself becoming stressed or just anxious about playing, okay, ask yourself this, like, what do you find enjoyable about Rocket League? Is it the fast pace, the insanely high skill ceiling, the unique physics-based engine? So remind yourself why you play and just never lose sight of your goals. It definitely helps. Okay guys, so our sixth tip is to put a little time into your physical and mental health every single day. Yeah, Rocket League is a mental game above all else, and so maintaining a positive attitude, alone can really mean the difference between winning and losing. And so our mind and body are one, so just getting enough sleep, nutrition, exercise is just vital to maintaining peak performance. And so doing strength training has been proven to really boost your memory and your thinking skills. So just taking a short 5-minute break, between games to just work out, it could definitely do wonders. Even though these tips aren't Rocket League related, they should not be overlooked, all right? Professional players constantly work to keep their mind and body in top tier shape. Otherwise, they face the possibility of just falling behind the competition. All right, guys, so our final tip for today is to be kind and to stay humble. All right, I know what you're probably thinking. You're like, what does this have to do with Rocket League? It has everything to do with Rocket League. Rocket League is a highly competitive game that takes years and years to get better at. And so even the best players in the world make lots of mistakes. Otherwise, they wouldn't get scored on. So one of the worst things that you can do, man, is just go into autopilot mode and just blame your teammates or opponents for a loss. Instead, let me tell you this, you should save replays from those games and just watch yourself from a top-down perspective. It's definitely gonna become much easier to see the faults in your own gameplay this way. So ask yourself this question, would you like to have someone like you as your teammate? Why or why not? Are you repeatedly throwing away ball possession? Are you creating powerful scoring opportunities? Are you always back in time to make the save? Are you making an effort to really pass to your teammates? Are you maintaining momentum and rotating? Or are you just stuck under the play all the time? So write down what you think you're struggling with and just focus on fixing one thing at a time. All right, guys, that's gonna be it for today's best tips for beginners video. If you guys liked the video, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. And if you wanna connect with me on my Instagram, I'm right here at Your Motivation Guy, man. I believe in you guys. Keep grinding, never stop. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.